Good morning. So feeling maybe a little bit more prepared today than last Sunday. I have notes, as you can see to the side. We got Godot up and running. So as I recall, last Sunday we started with web dev stuff on the glowing Telegram project for the first couple of hours of the stream, and then the back third, I think as I put it last time, we got Godot set up. I got the a nice solarized theme to match everything else, and was kind of messing around with things. And in the intervening week, didn't spend a ton of time researching things. The project is just as it was left. I think what I will probably do here, let's see, maybe we can pick up where we left off. But I think very rapidly my intent is going to be to kind of just delete the things that we added and kind of take a different tack, if you will. So what we had started with, first of all, I think this is broken, maybe. Let's see. We have arrow keys, and we can jump. So there is that. Okay, so that works. That's cool. It's very basic, right? But what? Actually, that's interesting. Did I make a change after? Let's open the player script. We have a move towards. Is this? I think what I ended up doing was because there is a. Hold on one second. So if we. What did I end up doing? Let's see. Attach script. There we go. Basic movement. Not built in. We reused. We'll load an existing script. Okay, and then a template. Oh, I can't select that if there's already a file there. Okay, but I think this is what I did though, was I went back here and I realized that there was a template for doing movement. And then I went back and replaced the UI left and UI right and UI up with my custom gameplay actions. Yeah, because this text is from the template. Okay, so that's what happened. Is that basically when you attach a script, you can just select a template, which I'm briefly able to see here by clicking this on. So it's I could also do this here. If I just give it a different name, there we go, and then I can see the template. So the character body 2D has a template that you can use, and that gives you a thing that works. Classic movement for gravity games, like a platformer. But I don't want to build a platformer. Okay, so we have this, and can I just like select all of this and delete? All right, and it's gone. We're starting over, and in fact, I'm going to delete the script to and it's gone. Cool. Also, we need to update VS Code apparently. And a nice black screen while it pops up with confirmation. All right. Well, anyway, so what do I want to do today? I think I said this last coding stream that broadly speaking the plan is to there it is. There's a scala draw. The plan is to kind of go through some basic kind of games. And what's more basic than kind of um, this game from, at this point, 50 years ago, Pong, right? Just re-implement Pong. Um, and what I want to do is I want to start there. And then what I want to do is I want to look at, as you can see here, some not so basic things, some things that you would put in an actual game. A splash screen, menus, so UI, in other words, being able to set up keys, things like that. And the point of that is that we have, some basic things that as I go forward, I can just carry forward. And if I learn new things that maybe improve those, I have those as well. So that's maybe getting a little ahead. What I want to start with is I want to make this, right? To some extent. I'm going to make something very basic, probably just with like rectangles and whatnot, and then make it do stuff. So how do I want to do that? Okay, so this outline here is kind of the game screen, right? As I understand it. We want to make a 2D scene. And this is going to be, we'll just call this main, I guess. I think one of the things I've come across as I've been learning more about how people use Godot, there's a lot of stuff out there about like scene organization, project structure, those sorts of things. I don't know enough to know what's going to make sense. For what we're doing right now, I think anything is fine. So here's a question. So we're gonna have, I think what I want to start with, instead of starting with the paddles, maybe I'll start with the ball. Is that gonna make sense to start with the ball? And then we'll make some walls. I think what I want to do, let's add a node, and this is gonna be some kind of 2D node. Is it an area 2D, something that's collidable? I think so. And then it gives us a warning that it has no shape. Right, so we don't have a collision shape 2D. We also need some kind of sprite 2D or something. Maybe not a sprite 2D because I don't want to make images at this point. So is there something inside of node 2D that we can use? Like shape, cast, skeleton, sprite, path, polygon. I mean, polygon's an option. Is there just like a rectangle? Under control. Directional light. Okay, so maybe polygon is what I'm after. Or I could use sprite. Can I use sprite and just if only I could type. A frame from a sprite sheet animation. General purpose. So if I add this, so obviously, oh yeah. So can I do just like lots of different textures? There's like an image, or not an image, but a placeholder texture. That's what I used before, right? I was thinking of like a solid color, right? If I do that, okay. So then we also need to add a collision shape 2D. Is that what I'm after? And it's complaining that the shape must be provided. Wait, hold on. I've done something wrong here. Let's get back here. So what was this complaint? This needs, yeah, a collision shape 2D. Okay. No, that's the right thing. All right. And this is like, a shape must be provided for collision shape 2D to function. Please create a shape resource for it. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right. So we have a shape inside of a collision shape 2D. So then, get a little closer here. What do I want to do with? Let's grab this. Okay, so this is the collision shape 2D. Where is the sprite? Okay, the sprite is there. Interesting. Let's zoom in a little bit, figure out what's going on. Okay. So, something that I didn't look too closely at last coding stream were these options here around. Let's see. So we have use smart snap, toggle smart snapping. So that's the thing that I've learned about since. So basically, I do want my sprite and my collision shape to be the same size. And I wonder, like, if I select both of these, if I select this, can I put that inside of that? No. Can I put this inside of this? And then tell this to occupy the full size? Like, I just want something that I can use that I can, like, if I resize this, they'll stay together. Now, would you really want to do that all the time? For all things? No. Almost certainly not. I'm just trying to make this a little easier for myself in this moment. Lock selected nodes, preventing selection of movement is definitely not something you want. Groups the selected node with the children. This causes the parent to be selected when a child node is clicked. Okay, wait. If I go back to this, and I click this, and I click group selected nodes. Okay, and I click that. No, that still doesn't change. Okay, that doesn't work. What are these other? Okay, so we have scale mode, we have rotate mode, we have move mode. So E is very inconvenient for me. What's the shortcut for select Q? Okay, that's good. At least we have these two. And then scale and rotate. That's not rotate. Rotate is E. Okay, well. Can we say... I guess the thing is, in this case, let's get back on, like, what are we trying to accomplish, right? What are we trying to accomplish? So what I'm trying to accomplish now is I want to put walls around the outside of the area, and I don't actually want a sprite in this case, because I don't want to actually show anything. So I think what I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to put this here. And we're going to stretch this out. Let's see, I think there's a grid snapping. There we go. That'll be good. Yeah, okay. So We're gonna call this. Can we just have two collision shapes in one area 2D? And just move the second one to wherever the bottom of the screen is. Hold on, I gotta turn off that grid view. Can we turn on? Can we do? I guess there's snap to guides. Are these guides? I don't know. Interesting. One sec. So I'm going to call this, what do I want to call this? I'll call this walls. Right, so what I want to do is I want to add a ball, and that ball should be able to bounce off of either of these. And then we'll add like goals on either side, and then we'll add paddles. One for us as the player to control, and the other for the computer to control. Then we're going to add score and some other things, and then we'll have a functional Pong, theoretically. Let's see if we can get that far. Okay, so is there anything I need to do to this right now? Shape, version. Okay, and then anything here for area 2D. And there's a collision. Now, one thing I don't know is this going to work with having one area 2D that has both the collision shapes in it? Don't know. So we're going to add a new node. And this is the node for the ball. Did I have any notes about the ball? Some things we're going to do later where we're going to have some kind of delay before the ball spawns in. We'll do something where we have to spawn in the ball, and the ball could be like its own scene object, I guess, is a thing. Oh yeah, I have some notes down here. Here we go. Zoom in on that. So notes from past self was character body 2D for the ball and apply initial velocity. And then we'll use move and collide to detect collisions. And then do some fancy things with how the ball behaves. So what am I after? I'm after a character body 2D. And so the warning is it has no shape, so it can't collide or interact. It needs a collision shape or collision polygon 2D. So I will add a collision polygon. And then it needs, well, it's empty. Okay. Build mode, solids, polygon, packed vector 2 array, fancy. Yeah, so I can just add things to that array if I wanted to. Okay. Figuring this out. Can I... move this? Okay. Okay, so there's our polygon. Can we... pivot, pan mode, ruler mode. Okay, interesting. What is... Okay, this is what I thought. Is there a way for me to not have to try? Yes, obviously. This is not a very good ball. I'm assuming what I'm doing is I'm sketching out the perimeter though of a polygon for collision. Is there a better way to do this? Collision polygon 2D circle. How to shape polygon 2D into a circle. How to use collision polygon 2D. If you use collision shape 2D, you can select circle shape. Okay. So instead of using collision polygon, collision shape, and we select circle. Okay. And then we're gonna add another sprite. I don't suppose there's no. Okay. What about a shape? Shape casting allows like okay, no. Sprite. We'll try a sprite. And the texture will be placeholder. It's not a very good ball. Just pretend for a moment. We'll go and make an image to use in a little bit. So then what? So if I just run this, nothing happens, which makes sense. I mean, it doesn't have any initial velocity, right? So is there? Oh yeah. Also, motion mode probably should be floating. I think that's I think grounded does other things. Don't ask me to explain what the difference is. Oh, wait, there's docks. Sets the motion mode, which defines the behavior of move and slide. I don't think we'll be using move and slide, but grounded applies when notions of wall, ceiling, and floor are relevant. In this mode, the body motion will react to slopes. This mode is suitable for sided games like platformers. Well, we're not making a platformer. This is effectively top-down, right? Floating, apply when there is no notion of floor or ceiling. Any collision will be reported as on wall. In this mode, when you slide, the speed will always be constant. This mode is suitable for top-down games. Okay. Good to know. We're not doing moving platform stuff. I'm not worried about collision. Well, we might come back to the collision layer stuff at some point. Think we need to do anything with any of this stuff. So, I think initially what I could do is I can just attach a script. Let's rename this to I think I don't know if it would be. I guess for now I'll just call this ball. I was thinking, do I need to make a node and then have this character? What is the thing? Character body 2D be a node inside of it? I don't know. But what I'm gonna do for now is I'm gonna roll with it. We're gonna create a script. And in this script, we get the default template of behavior. We are not controlling this this ball, so like the input stuff we don't need to worry about. So we don't need to... Let's see, velocity here is what we're changing and adding direction. Okay, so I'm going to take out all of this. And we're going to move in collide. Expected at least one. What is the one argument for moving collide? Moves the body along the vector param motion. In order to be frame independent in physics process, param motion should be computed using delta. Returns a kinematic collision 2D. Okay, so we're going to come back to this. I'm just going to leave a thing here. We're just going to pass. I assume that is valid syntax here, like it is in Python. We don't have a jump velocity. We'll have a speed. Yeah. So if I put an underscore here, will that shut up about the unused parameter? Good. What did I want to do though? Oh yeah, so I wanted to have a ready. There we go. And I wanted to have it pick a, well, eventually a random direction. So we'll make a function here that's like random direction. I'm not going to use that quite yet, but what we'll do is we'll say, okay, Copilot's just going to write some stuff for us, apparently. Is this reasonable code? So this makes a vector that is a random number between 0 and the width of the viewport for the first element and for the x-coordinate, essentially. And a random location between 0 and the height of the viewport. And then it makes a random direction times the initial speed. And that is the velocity. And velocity is a variable that character body 2D provides, and we are essentially modifying. So sure, do I want a random position for the ball? I think that's not what I want. I want something where we're actually, we're going to start in the center. Like so. This looks right to me. My trigonometry is a little rusty, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Hey, main scripter, how's it going? Welcome in. Just playing around with some Godot game engine stuff. It's my second stream day of doing stuff in Godot. And it's been a long time since I've done any game dev in general. So just like starting with basics. How you doing? What am I working on right now? Well, currently I'm trying to see if I can make this ball move. Well, I got it to start in the center. I think I need to call that move and collide function if I want the ball to move, though. So basically, I'm making Pong. The venerable kind of starter project in Gamedev, right? So the idea will be we'll have a ball that's bouncing around off the walls, and we'll have paddles, one that I as a player will control. Yeah, I'm learning GDScript, that's right. And just the tooling in general, yeah. As someone who has quite a number of years of experience with Python, it's very familiar to me, but learning how to actually make things in the tool is a different matter. We're going to change that back to not underscore. So, will that work? Yes. Cool. All right, the ball moved. So I think move and collide returns a collision. Um, see, I don't think we need to change the position. I think that's Copilot's doing something we don't need here. I think we do want to do part of this though. Let's see, how do I control right arrow here in VS Code? I'll keep the comments too because I think these are true. But I just don't want the else because I don't think we need the else. Expect to end the statement after expression. What's it mean? Wait, isn't that valid syntax? No. Huh. Oh, right. No, of course. I know what I'm missing. This isn't Python, though. There we go. It's var. Right. Okay. And then I think one of the things I do, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna add it now. Acceleration should be, I don't know, 50 or something. We'll do that. So my comments here will be like acceleration. Okay. So what does this do? I am a Twitch affiliate. That is correct. I have been streaming for about 2 years now, and it took me what? About 9 months to get affiliate. All right, so that's not gonna help us. That's the downside of going in a random direction is it may not hit a wall. And I want to see it bounce. It didn't bounce. Okay. So, if collision, reflect the ball's velocity when it collides with a wall. So velocity.bounce, collision.get normal. Let's print. No, that's going to be too noisy. Let's say if there's a collision, print collision detected. There we go. And I think for now, instead of actually setting a random direction, we're going to set velocity equal to, let's see, x will be 0. We don't want to go, or it'll be really small, maybe like 0.1, and the y direction will be 1.1 normalized times speed. So that'll have it going kind of upwards or downwards, one of the two. There we go, downwards. Okay, so we didn't get a log message, so it didn't collect a didn't detect a collision to log it, which is no good. Yeah. So why no collision detection? So collision shape 2D. Collision object 2D. Collision layer 1 mask 1. Okay. Here, collision layer 1 mask 1. Right, so if the wall is on layer 1, it detects things that are on mask 1. So why is it not detecting the collision with this object? Hmm. Let's check something else here. So if I change this direction to be negative 1.1, so that the ball goes up, does it bounce off the top? Nope. Where do you get web making projects? What do you mean? Let's move the collision shapes in closer. Let's see. I don't know. Is it because it's outside? It can't be because it's outside of the viewport. No. Is it something to do with the parent node walls? What are these monitoring monitorable? If true, the area detects bodies or areas entering and exiting it. Monitorable. Okay. So I think I can't do what I tried to do here. Having two collision shapes in one area? Is that true? What if I remove this? Ball's going up, right? So it should still work with that, but we're not detecting a collision. So maybe it's not that. Look at what move and collide does. It moves the body along the vector. Which we're computing using delta, and returns a kinematic collision 2D, which contains information about the collision when stopped. Which contains information about the collision when stopped or when touching another body along the motion. If param test only is true, the body does not move, but the would-be collision information is given. Safe margin, recovery as collision is true. Any depenetration from the recovery phase is also reported as collision. Okay. So those should all be false. The motion is our velocity times delta. Times delta or divided by delta? Well, delta is going to be a fraction. Probably times delta. Just to, we don't need, I mean, I guess we have position, sure. So if I run this, it's going to be very noisy, right? Very noisy. But it doesn't collide with our collision shape. Why? What am I missing? Okay, so let's look at the collision shape of our ball. Is... So we have circle shape, radius. Hold on, 1 second. Did I... hide the sprite for a second. It's that. It's that shape, yeah? Okay. Resource level to C. Okay, now. Color, transform, position. Yes. Ooh. Okay, let's do this. So let's play. And while it's going, before it gets there, let's pause and then again use this remote button over here to look at the game state of the running game, right? So then we have this ball and it has a collision shape. Can we... Character body 2D, speed, accelerate. So these are constants. I wonder something. So if I go to the script, right? So we're outputting the position of the ball. Could we print the so collision shape? Yeah. Just kind of curious what attributes are on this. So many things I don't know. It's very exciting. Lots of methods. Does this have a position? I wouldn't think so. Okay, anyway, we don't need this. Why? Motion mode, collision, safe margin, disable mode, collision object 2D. Let's read what this says. The physics layer this collision object 2D is in. Collision objects can exist in one or more of 32 different layers. See also collision mask. Object A can detect contact with object B only if object B is in any of the layers that object A scans. What does it say about mask? The physics layers that this collision object 2D scans. Collision objects can scan one or more of 32. Yeah, okay. So that tracks with my understanding of how all that worked. What does pickable do here in this? If true, this object is pickable. A pickable object can detect the mouse pointer entering and leaving. Oh, neat. Okay. Might be something relevant for later. I don't get though why we are not colliding. Ooh, here's a question. Can we... Can we? Hopefully is a yes. No, it's a no. It doesn't support, or at least it doesn't support automatically using those breakpoints. Let's see. Open a scene to preview instructions. Sure. Open the main script of the scenes preview. Okay, I don't care about any of that. CLA Plus. What are you doing there? Interesting. say. I wonder. So right now I have it set to use a external editor, right? But it doesn't seem that I can set breakpoints. Or maybe I have to launch the game a different way. Run current scene, run project. Pause. Unpause. Oops. See, it should have collided there. Well, before there, right? And we should have had something in the log, but we didn't. And I'm sure it's something. What do these buttons do? Oh, I see. So we can select that node. I see. Remote sprite. In fact, let's look at collision shape of the ball. No, I don't see anything here that tells me anything relevant. So, in the absence of a clue, Godot, ooh, wait. Is this I'm just using the wrong node or something? Like, I'm using area 2D with the collision shape 2D. Am I using the wrong node? Now, in Area 2D, can I tell you the requirements for becoming a mod in the Discord? That's a good question. I don't know. Foxy Blue back in August of last year said the requirement was to be Foxy Blue. But probably, I think, I don't know, probably just being around for a while. It's a small community, and not a lot of chatter happening. So I don't know that we really need moderators yet as part of it. But I would say just hanging around and being here, and there's not really. It's not a big enough community to have ooh, here are the rules. Here's all that. So I guess another way of saying that is I'm not really necessarily looking for moderators yet. The that become a mod channel. I see your question there. Was was more of a well, this would be good to have at some point. All right, so no problem. I'll wait to get this community big and become a mod. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely growing, slowly but surely. We'll see how it goes. So it's definitely something in Node 2D, and so the thing I had made walls is an area 2D. What does the documentation say about area 2D? A region of 2D space that detects other collision objects entering or exiting it. So you would think that would be the thing. It detects when other collision object 2Ds enter or exit it, and also keeps track of which collision objects haven't exited yet, which ones are overlapping. Okay, maybe there's some other kind of node. Maybe, so we have character body 2D for the ball. Maybe we should be using like a rigid body. Or static body. A static 2D physics body. It can't be moved by external forces or contacts, but it can be moved manually. Okay, so maybe I should use static body 2D for the walls. Okay. Oh yeah, when I was first in the stream, there were only 2 viewers, including me. Now there's 8. Oh no, so many. Hello all. Hope you are enjoying. Oh, exciting. We have an error. Hey, Brainless. Hello. Hope you're enjoying. Well, I guess the journey, right? Of not quite nothing. Obviously, I've been coding for a long time. Maybe that's not. I would wish that would be obvious, but I have been coding for a long time in many different languages, and we're doing something new for the Sunday streams here in Godot. So, invalid access to property or key collider on a base object of type kinematic collision 2D. So, the code that Copilot gave me is wrong. Is the first thing I know. Let's see. Collider is not a thing. Let's just go ahead and get rid of the print and see if this works as is. So what I'm hoping to see is the ball will bounce. Yep, and it will bounce. And this will repeat for some time. This is progress. So apparently it's important to choose the right kind of nodes for things. How much do I stream per day? Usually I'm streaming for 3 hours when I stream. Oh, and the ball's gone. So yeah. I usually do an hour, which has been almost an hour, and then take a little break for a couple minutes. That allows everyone to, you know, grab some water or some beverage and get up and about for a little bit, and Twitch can run its ads and do all that. And I think now that I've mentioned it, that's what we're gonna do right now. So when we come back, what are we doing? Let's see. So Pong game / learning GD script. By the way, I only watch you on Twitch. That's fair. I think there's something to be said for the interactivity, right? I know there are people that watch the VODs on YouTube. And it's cool that they do. I post them there for them, and finally am getting them going again. But yeah, okay. So we're gonna take a break. I do want to keep a note of what we're gonna come back to though. So what are we coming back to? Scaladraw. So what's the next thing that makes sense for us to kind of look at here? We could. Should we add the paddle? To add player paddle. Other things. We'll come back to that. Let's see. So if I click this, we get a nice little preview of what we're doing. All right, so I'm gonna take a break here for like 3 minutes. And when I return, we're going to pick this back up and we're going to keep on going and see how far we can get today. So, I'll be right